It's almost maple season, and I'm doing a few things a little differently this year. Hi, friends. Welcome back. Another cold, snowy day on the drive to work. If you're new here, my name is Jen. In this video, I'm going to talk about the things that I've done and will be doing to prepare for the maple season coming up. At the time that I'm recording this video, it's mid-February. We are in, I think, I hope one of our very last brutally cold days. It's the truck says it's -12 Fahrenheit. I'll put what the Celsius is up on the screen. It's been a very, very cold winter, and looking at the weather, I believe we're going to turn the corner a little bit, and it's going to be right below freezing. So it's over the course of this week, and what I can see further out, we're going to be getting into around, like right below freezing. So 31, 32, maybe 33. So that's like zero Celsius. So it is time for me to start thinking about, or I guess preparing more so for maple season. Maple season kind of began in the summer. Over the summer, I scouted out some different trees, new trees, some of the trees that I used last year, and I tagged them with the surveyor tape. I tied surveyor tape or attached it to the tree. So I have a bunch of trees already flagged, and I also did some in the other direction from my driveway, in case I need some more. I think I have around, I want to say around 23-ish taps that I planned, maybe 25 taps this year, which is quite a bit more than last year. Last year I only had 12 taps, 12 spiles. And so I had to get more of those. So that was another thing I had to do to prep. I'll put a picture of some of the trees that I flagged up on the screen. So I've already scouted out my trees. They are easily or more easily accessible because they are along the road. That was a pretty easy thing. Over the course of the summer, I got some more 5-gallon buckets. If you remember last year, I used 1-gallon vinegar jugs and stuff, and those were not okay when the sap really began to flow. They flowed over. My trees were giving me more than a gallon over the course of the day, which it wasn't a problem for me to empty those containers every day, but there were a couple trees that were overflowing or coming pretty close. So I ended up buying some 5-gallon pails on Amazon last year because I needed them in a pinch, and started using those. Well, I figure if I'm going to have more taps this year, I'm going to need more 5-gallon pails. I went through the other day and opened up my box of supplies, my box that has the spiles and the tubing in it, made sure everything was clean. I did wash everything up after the last season, but I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything funky going on in the box. I put everything back in the original box that the tubing came in. So I went through and checked everything. My buckets were all cleaned, and they're stacked up and covered with black plastic bags. So those are all ready to go. I am pretty much ready to go. I am just waiting for the temperature. What I also had done over the course of the summer was to make a better rocket stove, and I had a short about it. It's taller and it's longer, and it's under one of the bays of my shed. I've cooked some food on it and smoked a pepperoni in the chimney stack of it. I have that all set up. So that's going to be easier to use than the last one I had. It's in an area that hopefully it won't get a ton of wind. Last year I had problems with wind blowing through where I had the thing. This year it's kind of in the front of an enclosed bay, so it shouldn't get a lot of the side wind like I had last year. I had wind in my very last batch of syrup I had after I had boiled most of it down, was sitting on top of the rocket stove that I had last year, and one of the tarps, the wind blew so bad that it knocked the tarp into the thing. I think that's what happened. I don't think a critter got into it, but it spilled my entire last batch of syrup, which was extremely disappointing. I've gotten a couple large roasting pans. Last year I had a large catering pan given to me, and this year I went and got a large roasting pan at the local thrift store, which was like $4 for this huge pan with a nice cover and everything on it. I am currently looking for another one. I've got time. If I don't find one at a thrift store between now and when I want to actually start boiling, or when I do get sap that I'm going to start boiling, I am going to end up just buying one at Walmart. They are $18 at Walmart. I would prefer to find one secondhand, cheaper, or I mean, like the one that I got from the thrift store was a really good, really nice quality. So I'm hoping to find something like that first, but I need one more pan, and I'm keeping my eyes out for that. Worst comes to worst, I'll just get one. I mean, they even have them at the dollar store, but the dollar store is a couple more dollars than Walmart. I guess it depends on if I'm going to Walmart, or if I drive by the dollar store 2 times a day. So that's not a problem to get the stuff there. I also have wood stacked in the bay that my rocket stove is at. When I got my wood over the summer, I took some small pieces and stacked them in there. So I do have a lot of small pieces ready to go for when I start the whole thing. Last year it was kind of a pain in the ass. I had to go around and search for smaller pieces and kindling and things like that were in my wood pile. But I didn't have a lot of good luck sourcing really small pieces. So this year I separated out a whole bunch of smaller pieces and actually stacked them underneath that part of the bay, so that I don't have to go searching for stuff. It'll be right there, and I can just grab them and throw them under there, and it's going to make it so much easier. Right now, what I'm looking at is just watching the weather and seeing when the weather is going to be getting above that freezing point during the day. We just got to do what nature allows us to do. It's pretty much the only way to look at that is it's just got to be, nature is going to be what it's going to be, and I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Do you guys do small scale maple syrup? I know it takes a lot of sap to boil down to syrup. It may or may not be necessarily worth it. It's I guess it's kind of fun a little bit. It's very time consuming, and I try to wait to the weekend and do it. I'll probably have to take a day off of work if I get a lot of sap. I don't want it to go bad. I like to only let the sap sit out maybe for a week if it's not cold enough to freeze it. If you like this video, please remember to like, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.